just what they do. We always say lines work. And guys, when you date enough girls, and I mean, like, if you go out with 3 or 4 girls in 1 week, and everybody in this world kind of at some point goes through that, even if you're looking just for one girl, if you're looking to get married to one girl, you're going to go through hundreds, if not thousands of women to find one. It's truly a search. Very rarely is it the first deal. But lines work because you're going to hear the same things. It's kind of like people get fatigued when they're on the dating apps and they're going out on a lot of first dates because they're going through the same questions. So you're going to find yourself going through answering the same questions from women, like, are you divorced? What was your divorce like? Yeah, I mean, there's just standard questions you're going to hear over time, depending on your age and where you're at in your life. And you need to test openers and lines no matter the source. Most will work great and some won't. That's okay. The most classic opener being "Hey Woman" from Playboy Apollo, who's, no longer on Twitter, but it's a good standard opener. You can use it on text. You can use it on the apps. Oh, you might even say it to some woman. "Hey Woman," it works. It works most of the time. Not always, but most of the time. It seems to be just flippant enough, direct enough, and what would you say, sexist enough to get girls' attention. The right girls that are fun, girls that are engaging, girls that are energetic. So that, and it repels the wrong girls. That's what you want lines to do. Attract the right ones and repel the wrong ones. Really hardcore feminists that can't get over themselves, they will object to that. And that's okay. That gives you an indicator you need to stay away from her. So test openers and lines no matter the source. And that's why when somebody comes across with a good one, I always try to repost it on my timeline. That way you get an idea. And then lines work because it gives you an idea of what works, and then you can be creative from there. And any guy that tells you lines don't work is full of shit. It's kind of like people saying online dating doesn't work. It means they slapped up a couple pictures, they wrote "I love to fuck," and never got any matches. It didn't work for them because they did it wrong. And guys that say lines don't work are either a natural and they don't understand even what it is, or they've tried it, they've used the wrong lines in the wrong place with the wrong girls and took a punch to the face. And so lines work. They work for the majority of people most of the time, but you do have to test things. So know that. One thing that is key, everything that I talk about is about American girls, preferably in the cities, because a lot of times the techniques that we promote or share don't work overseas quite as well because there's a cultural difference. And a lot of the lines I've noticed, at least the harsher lines, the things that are come across as a little bit more, I guess, sexist or misogynistic, that work in the U.S. don't work overseas for whatever reason. You don't really have to know. You just have to know that, if you're in the Netherlands, some of these lines are not going to work for you. I understand, like Asshole Game, it works on American women like nothing else will work on American women. But through genetics, environment, upbringing, history in Europe, Asshole Game is not quite as effective. So you just have to know that where you're at doing this matters. And, you always look at environment, you calibrate your game according to the girl in front of you. Again, you need to test openers and lines no matter the source. Most will work great. Some won't. That's okay. If you're testing lines on the app, especially like openers, it never hurts to set your distance to a different city. Like I'm in Fort Worth. If I wanted to test openers, I would set my city to be like San Antonio or Austin, and then run game and run my text game there. That way, if you do have a horrible or a bad run, you're not burning good leads that are near you. So that's one way to test openers in your text and improve your text game without actually using the resources that are in your area that could actually meet up with you. You always reach out to further areas out that you're never going to meet them in the first place, but you can test it and run it and see what works. And that's a suggestion, and it works. And every player knows these little tricks of the trade. That's how you find out what works and what doesn't. The red pill is strategic. Game is tactical. You should know that by now simply by our intro here.